Hello and welcome back to the YouTube. So we're back home. For once I'm recording back in the UK. In my office, home and settled. It is Thursday the 23rd today. So I got back from FIBO from Cologne on Monday this week. Had a few days to get settled back home, back in routine, unpack and sort of digest everything that's gone on, process things, touch base with Kyle and sort of work out our plans moving forward. And that's kind of what this video is about. I'm going to try and keep this one a little bit shorter because otherwise it's just going to be a podcast of me sat here talking. But I wanted to update you all, be as raw and honest and open really about how I'm feeling, about my plans, about the direction I want to go in and that sort of stuff. So I'm sure it's some clickbaity title, but we're going to get straight to it. I'm going to try and be as honest but positive as possible, right? I don't want this to be some melodramatic, oh, I'm so upset with the season, blah, 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 blah. Like, I am, yeah, but life goes on, right? There's more important things. I've got a long time ahead of me. I'm very young and I just want to get back to work. That is the overarching thing here. So, to jump to the conclusion, I'm going to be wrapping up the season there after FIBO. So we did the two shows. The look at the first one was, so Benelux Pro, as you watched those videos. A quick synopsis, the look was good. It was definitely the leanest and hardest I've ever been, but I was quite flat. It was a long way under the weight cap at that show. We didn't really carb load too aggressively. Played it very safe. And yeah, I was detailed, but I was just way too small. I was so flat compared to these bigger guys. I was outsized, which, you know, I can't argue. And then coming into FIBO, we obviously had a lot of travel in between, so there's a 2-week gap between shows. I managed to get out to Pittsburgh and back during that time, and then also get out to Germany, plenty in advance. We wanted to come in a lot fuller based off the feedback from the judges in the Netherlands, so coming into FIBO, we kept food a lot higher. Obviously pushed my body weight up a lot more, which then meant obviously making weight was a little bit more challenging. Not helped by the complications with the scale. But we made weight and we brought a significantly fuller package to FIBO. And it was a look I actually quite liked. Now, in terms of the placing, it was absolutely the worst placing I've ever had. Not the placing I wanted, but the look was good. Now, I think overall my posing at FIBO probably let me down the most. Looking back at photos now, I've actually got some of the stage shots. I'll put them on screen now. Like you can see that mainly my back shot. So when I went out to Pittsburgh and I saw Tyler and I posed for him in person, he wanted me to change my back shot a little bit. And I only had about a week to work on this. And ultimately, I just didn't get it right. You can see that, look, when I like drag back, you can see the detail through my glutes, my hamstrings, my lower back. I was lean, I was shredded, I was hard. But then when I actually get into my back double bicep, as you can see here on screen, for some reason my glutes just don't show that detail. I look a lot softer. The way I'm hitting my back, it looks a lot boxier than normal. I don't have the same taper. And I just posed it badly. And as a result, obviously lost a lot of places there. And there was a bit of a theme of that throughout, I think. There was certainly a little bit more of a film of water as well at FIBO due to the fullness. And ultimately, I faded very, very quickly. When I first walk out and did my eye walk, this was the look here. I'll put it on screen now, you can watch it. Like this look, I was really, really happy with. And I think, in my opinion, if I sustained this look throughout the whole of prejudging, I would have placed a lot higher. Would I have still been where I want to be, pushing the first call out? No. But I would have been higher than where I ended up, okay? Does that matter? No, it's just data that we know for the future. I faded very quickly. So the way they do it is you go out, you do your eye walk, then you come off whilst everybody else does their eye walk. And because my surname's Eagles, I'm normally one of the first few to do the eye walk. And then you get into comparisons from there. And obviously they do the first call out first, run arounds of that, and then it's the second call out. So between that eye walk and then me actually in the comparisons where I'm being judged was probably about 40 minutes. And in that 40 minutes, I just flattened off massively. A film of water came through, and the look got worse. And that kind of progressed through into the night show as well at finals. The look got away from us a little bit, just because we didn't have enough food really. So that's all data. Carl and I have debriefed. We know where we need to improve. Me as an athlete, where I can be better. And also him just learning my body and knowing what it needs. It's all very positive. Like, this was my first season with Kyle, and I genuinely could not be happier with him. Sure, the placements weren't what we wanted, but the experience working with him as my coach, the trust I now have in him is second to none. And I think that goes a long way. Certainly for myself, my biggest thing is I stress myself out, I overanalyze, and that affects my look. So having Kyle there now, who I have full confidence in, I know he knows my physique, I know he'll make me make weight and all this sort of stuff, like I can just chill out, and that's very variable. So that's all very positive. Now, the bottom line is, why am I wrapping up the season now? I am just too small. Sure, those small tweaks to posing and really nailing the peak will help, but they'll only help so much. We're talking 5-10% differences here. The bottom line is I'm too small compared to these other guys. They have a density, a maturity that I just don't have. So when I stand by myself, sure, I look great, I look very competitive. Put me in a lineup with, like that first call out at FIBO, for example, all guys that have been to the Olympia, and I just get lost. I'm not hard enough. I've not got the muscularity level required to be competitive with those guys. So the bottom line is, if I want to be competitive with those guys, which I do, that is what I care about, I'm very competitive, I need to grow, I need to get bigger. So it does not make sense for me to continue to diet, continue to take higher supplements in prep, to just continue to place not where I want to place at different shows, right? I'm not good enough to get to the Olympia this year. That hurts to say. I truly did believe that this year I would be competitive at a level where I could be pushing for show wins. I hand on heart believed that. So yeah, it stings not being there. I feel like I've let people down, and I know I haven't, right? And I'm very realistic with myself there, but I think it's more a sense of what I wanted to get there for people, like for you guys. Like I wanted the content of me competing at the Olympia. I wanted the story going in. I wanted to be in prep for most of this year and really push that, for you guys to all follow along. And I want it to be there for my sponsors as well, ultimately, for ESN and for Gymshark and stuff. I want to be going to the Olympia. And so to not be there is tough. It's going to be tough, sat watching it again, right? It does hurt. But what can I do about that? Nothing. I've got to fucking put my head down and get better. It is purely motivation. Sure, it hurts. I just use that as motivation now. So I am fired the fuck up for this off season, let me tell you. I'm always on it. I'm always disciplined. I always work hard, right? But there's just a different level when you are frustrated with how a season's gone. Like this prep, truly, hand on heart, was the hardest I've ever pushed myself. And I'm very proud of that. And to get probably the most disappointing results I've had from a season, it hurts because you put so much time and so much effort into that. But I'm very logical in the sense of I'm going to let it hurt. I'm going to allow myself to be upset and to be frustrated, but I'm only going to sit in that for a very short span of time. I'm pretty much out of that now. I gave myself a few days when I got back home. I sat, I thought about everything. I processed things. I looked back at stage shots. Okay, where can I improve? Where, what went wrong? Why was I placing here? And looked through all of that. I understood it. I spoke to the judges. I've got their feedback. I spoke to Kyle. And now I'm in a case of, right, I've let myself feel those emotions. I think it's important to process them, and you are allowed to feel like shit sometimes. That is okay. But you can't stay there. You can't get stuck there. You can't become, stationary is probably the best way to put it. You have to get back to work. So I've felt those, I've processed those, and now I'm going to fucking use those negative feelings to become better. That's the way you have to work. And that goes for everything in life, right? Not just me competing now, for whatever. Like if you get fired from your job, okay, it sucks, feel that emotion, let it hurt, but you can only let it hurt for a little bit of time. And then you have to move forward, because otherwise you're not going to get paid. You're not going to be able to provide for your family or for yourself, or you've got to just, great. I call it like a fuck you mentality. It's like, sure, fuck you for firing me. Now watch this and just go and get a better job, right? Easier said than done, I know, but you will only get that if you get back to work and apply and just keep showing up until eventually something breaks your way. And that's what I'm going to do, right? Fuck you mentality. Not aimed at anybody, just fuck that season, watch this. That's kind of my mindset right now, is like, I'm going to go put my head down, work harder than I've ever worked this off-season. As for how long the off-season will be, I don't know yet, till I'm ready. And then we'll come back and I will get to the Olympia. That's the bottom line. It's just a matter of time. It's going to take longer than I thought it would, and that's okay. I do bodybuilding because I love the process, not necessarily because I love the results. So there's a weirdly positive sense to it, right? I just get to continue to do what I love, right? Eat the food, get strong as fuck training, get a new split going, take what I learned from training that prep, and this is a skill-based thing. Every year I'm learning stuff and learning things about myself I can then apply and utilize to get better, and that's kind of exciting. So that's the overall plan of action, is I need to get bigger. So right now, what have we done? We came back from FIBO. So also, one of the big questions I keep getting is, how am I going to get so much better if I'm already at my weight cap? And the bottom line is, I'm just not at my weight cap. So for FIBO, it was close. Obviously, you saw the video where I had to sit in the sauna. The only reason that happened was just because we got it a little wrong. Not even necessarily wrong. We weren't anticipating the scale breaking on me 2 hours before weigh-ins. I actually weighed in 2.5 pounds under my weight cap at FIBO after all that, so I probably didn't even need to sit in the sauna for that long. But my lowest of prep was about 208 pounds. On show day, after I'd carb loaded in the Netherlands, I was 209 pounds on show day morning. My weight cap's 212 pounds. And that was with no diuretics being used. That was after a carb load, and that was without trying to make weight. So let's say if I'm waking up 209 on show day, I could very easily have got down to 202, 201 to make weight with the use of diuretics and a sauna if I needed to. And my weight cap's 212 pounds. Realistically, I need to be starting peak week absolutely shredded out of my mind at about 220 pounds, about 100 kilos. To be there, that means I need to put on 12, 15 pounds of muscle. And that's actual muscle tissue, not just weight. That's that's hard to do. Putting on a pound of actual solid muscle is very, very hard to do. Takes some time. And it also changes your physique dramatically. So yeah, basically we're not close to the weight cap. There is plenty of tools at my disposal to where, I need to be absolutely shredded out my mind at 220 pounds basically. And then we'll just drop down to make weight. That's what all these other guys you see are doing. They drop down, they make weight, they're then on stage 12, 15 pounds heavier the next day after they rehydrate and re-carb load. So that's where we need to get to, and that's where we're going to get to. So I got back from FIBO. Scale weight was about 10 pounds up after a little bit of food and a little bit of travel. I then ran 2,000 calories the last 2 days, and I'm back down to 218-ish pounds this morning, which was where I was leading into peak week for FIBO, and also after the carb load, like on show day and stuff, for about 218, 219 pounds in FIBO. So I'm back down to my stage weight basically for FIBO, which is great. Obviously, all the super sups have been pulled. We are straight into a health phase. This is something I always do after prep. I just clean out completely. I don't like the rebound approach, like where you just push it a little longer, slam food right up and gain 30, 40 pounds per show. Because sure, you feel great for 4 or 5 weeks and you make loads of progress, it seems. And then you have to go into a health phase, and then you soften up a little bit. Insulin sensitivity is not as good. And then when you eventually do get back on super subs and pushing your off season, you are compromised. Your insulin sensitivity is not as good. You're already quite soft, and then nothing much really happens. Whereas what I do and did with Kyle last year that was very, very productive was immediately into a health phase, clean out, get healthy, check blood work. So I've got blood work on Tuesday next week. We're just going to see where that's at. And do a full clean out, 8 to 12 weeks. I do push my health phases longer than most. And we'll just make sure everything's spot on, we're good to go. During that time, I'm going to stay pretty lean. We're not going to get, 15, 20 pounds over stage weight. We're going to stay within probably 5 or 10 pounds of stage weight, which sucks because I am so unbelievably hungry. It's 9:30 this morning. I've done my half an hour of cardio. I've done my 40 minutes of steps following that. And I'm 2.5 litres of water in, and I've not eaten a meal yet. So that is what prep is. Prep is basically continuing. Like, I am so hungry and tired, but needs must. I want to set myself up for the best off-season possible, and this is the way Kyle wants me to do it. He did just bump my food today to, I think it's 2,700 calories. We are looking at training day 2,700, 320 protein, 250 carb, 40 fat, and then rest day is 2.5, so 2,500 calories, 320 protein, 170 carb, and 45 grams of fat. So food is still very low, right? And I'm on half an hour of cardio a day, minimum of 10,000 steps, usually exceeding that a little bit at the moment. That will change, that will up as we go. We'll taper up slowly. Training still feels very fragile. I'm waiting on Kyle to formulate a new training split for me. Because in terms of physique, what areas do I really especially need to bring up? Okay, my back, my upper back really needs to come up. My quads need a lot more. And one thing I never knew, but my glutes are absolutely tiny, right? So glutes, hamstrings, just lower body in general needs a lot more development. It needs a lot more thickness. It needs a lot more quad sweep, and I need a huge amount more glute. So this off season's we're going full wellness, boys. We're going, the wellness split's being broken out. I also need a much better midsection, is something I've come to realise. You know, one thing that did really stand out to me at FIBO looking through the stage shots is all the guys ahead of me, way better midsections, way harder, drier. Mine just gets a little bit washed out, it always is. And it's just lack of development. I need to really hammer my abs in the off season. I get a little bit lazy with it, to be totally transparent with you. In prep, yeah, I do them, but at the same time, I'm only then training them when I'm in a pretty harsh calorie deficit, not really building muscle. I need to train them when I've got the food to actually build that muscle and really develop my abs. So that is the plan. It's more back, it's more abs, and it's a lot more lower. Chest, shoulders, arms still need more, but not as much as these other areas. So the focus very much is going to be that back, midsection, and lower. Right, that's the focus initially. We'll see how it goes. But that's where we're up to. That is the plan. That is the season concluded. So although I was unhappy with the placings, I'm still very proud of the progress I made from Detroit to this year. There was a significant amount of progress, despite being the same stage weight. I know there was because Tyler literally said it to me one-on-one. He said, yep, exactly what you did from Detroit to this year, you need to do that again, and probably a few more times after that to really fill out the cap. But I have to do that properly as well. It's not just a case of, right, I'm just going to go and slam on 60 pounds this off-season. It's like, no, we're going to do it properly. We're going to put weight in the right areas. I'm going to maintain my waistline. And that is the target. So as for the next few weeks now, we're obviously going to be into a health phase. As I said, for 8 to 12 weeks, we're going to be reversing. I obviously had originally planned to do New York and Pittsburgh, which meant that I have booked all my flights. So we are still going to America. I will still be at the New York Pro. I'm unsure if I'll be at Pittsburgh just because it's a little bit harder to get to. So apologies to anybody who was going there to hopefully see me. I may still go, but I can't promise anything right now, but I'll definitely still be at New York Pro. The focus around that USA trip now, I've got 3 weeks out there, 3.5 weeks out there, is going to be content, right? We're just going to film a load of YouTube videos. We're going to get some really good content. So any videos you do want to see, please do let me know. Now, a big focal point that I really want to work on for this upcoming off season is my content. I kind of want to continue the regular vlogs. The peak week vlogs you see, the really raw, authentic ones, I'm going to keep those going as best I can and document this off season and everything I'm doing and kind of do like a documentary style series like Bigger by the Day, if you've ever seen it, like Rich Piana. Just Sam Sulek style is for what you'll all understand nowadays. Just that, just not great quality, just me with a camera taking you through day to day. I'm not going to say there'll be daily vlogs, definitely not, but 2-3 videos a week is what I'm going to shoot for. I'd like to do one higher production video a week still. So like the Sunday video, I'm still going to probably do it better quality. Bigger videos, maybe some food videos, some collabs, that sort of stuff. And then maybe 2 videos midweek that will just be raw vlogs of how the off season's going. Just raw training sessions, you know, a bit of chatting like this, some full days of eating, that sort of stuff. That's my plan. So yeah, 2 videos will be shit, probably edited by myself and filmed on like the little Osmo Pocket 3. And then we'll do 1 better video per week. better, right? But I really want to push the content. So any content you do want to see, please let me know. That is the plan for the off-season. I'm going to scale this YouTube thing because I really do appreciate all the support. That is one thing that has massively come through, despite not getting the placings I want, whatever. You guys have all been so nice and supportive. And I can't thank you enough for that, as well as everybody that's used my code for ESN and for Gymshark. I have seen some of the Gymshark drops coming up, like this is new. This is like a Salt Studios collab. This is sick. The next 2 Gymshark drops upcoming are probably my 2 favorite ever. Early May and late May. So keep an eye out for that. The summer sale is currently still live, so if you do want anything from Gymshark, it's up to 50% off right now. ESN as well have just dropped their performance whey, which is a whey protein isolate blend with a hydrolyzed whey, couldn't think of the word then, at the ideal ratio. So basically it's also got digestive enzymes built in there. So it's basically the highest quality whey you can get. It's going to digest the best because it's got digestive enzymes built in. 24 grams of protein per serving, and it's got no added sugar or anything like that. So that's great. If you remember from my peak week videos last year, it is the elite whey. It's just basically been reformulated and it's back. So you've got vanilla and chocolate flavors on that. I love it. So yeah, get on that. But yeah, to all of you that have been supporting me so much, I appreciate it. As kind of a way to appreciate that, I'm just going to try and pump out way more content. I'm going to put way more hours into YouTube, especially in America. I'm going to do little mini vlogs as well as bigger videos. I've got a full spreadsheet written up with like 20 video ideas. And I'm just going to film as much content as possible and put it out. So like and subscribe so you don't miss that. That is my conclusion of the season. Happy with the look, plenty to improve upon, and we just need to get bigger. So this next stage now is just going to be me documenting my off season as in detail as possible, and we are going to get absolutely fucking huge. Right, we're going to put on a serious amount of muscle, we're going to get strong as fuck, and we're going to put the work in. And I promise you, next time I compete, it will be for the Olympic qualification, and I'm going to get it. And I'd like to think that'll be next year. I'd hope it's next year. I can't see myself taking 2 years out, so don't worry. But right now the focus is putting the work in and improving. So that's what we're going to do. Thanks for watching. Appreciate all the support this season. You've all been incredible, and I will see you, hopefully, very soon for the next video. So yeah, catch up soon. Appreciate you watching. See you next one.